We will never know, but you put us on paper with them, I like our chances.
The Golden State Warriors are arguably the best organization in the last 10 years, winning 4 championships in 8 years, going to the NBA Finals from 2015 to 2022. Just the most healthy culture in the entire NBA with the best fan base, and worth the most money, by the way, in the entire NBA. So how did this all start? But before we get into the video, guys, please leave a like and subscribe. We're going to post more videos next week, especially since it's spring break. I have a whole week off from college, so expect more videos to come out soon. Click that notification bell. More videos will come out soon. The Golden State Warriors were a lost team. Back in 2010, when they had Monte Ellis, they had Baron Davis, and their head coach was Don Nelson. They were a team that traded Monte Ellis, firing head coach Don Nelson, who was a fan favorite in Oakland, hiring Bob Myers as general manager, who was inexperienced, but this move would be a blessing in disguise. The Golden State Warriors, with him, would draft the greatest shooter ever in Steph Curry.
If you look up there, that is a very lonely flag. We want another one.
Steph Curry, they would draft him, they would draft Klay Thompson, they would draft Draymond Green, they would draft Harrison Barnes to build this nucleus that we know today. And they would sign vets like Andrew Bogut, Andre Iguodala, and would hire head coach Steve Kerr to build that team around that we all love today. And Sean Livingston would also be another guy. This team would go on to win 67 games. Steph Curry would win MVP, and they would just be unmatched. No one being able to keep pace with them, and they would go on to the finals for the first time since 75 and would win the championship.
We did it. We did it. We did it at the beginning. So happy for you.
The following season, the Warriors would win 73 games. No team once again figuring out how to stop them. But despite winning 73 games, they would run out of gas. They would lose to the Cavs in the finals. And it would be nothing to them with the loss, winning 73 games. However, the loss, it was known to be a blessing in disguise because the Golden State Warriors would sign the second best player in the world in Kevin Durant, joining a team that was already loaded, and many would call him a coward, a bandwagon, the worst, a weak move, and God knows what else, a cupcake.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple. That's just how I look at it.
The Warriors would be virtually unstoppable and would run crews over everyone that stood their way. And would fit in unimaginably well on this team, fitting in really well with their offense, their defense, the system they played, and he would play the most unselfish basketball in NBA history. Not history, but, he wouldn't have to isolate like he did in OKC or have the ball on him every possession. He would just find open guys, and they would win 67 games, just dominating the regular season, finishing with the best offense net rating and the second best defense in the NBA, cruising past anyone who stood their way. They looked unbeatable. This was like a team that was like an all-star team, just putting in an NBA 2K and just playing with them. The Warriors would sweep everyone in the Western Conference with no team challenging them in the West, and would play LeBron James and the Cavs for a third straight time in the finals. The Cavs were also unstoppable, losing just one playoff game on their road to the finals. Both teams looking like it will be a huge challenge. It will be a 7-game series. It will be like a clash of the Titans. But the Cavs were unable to stop Kevin Durant. Not only could they not stop him offense, but Kevin Durant would also play amazing defense on the Cavs, especially on LeBron James, who would have a tougher time to score this year than last year. His defense would be elite, and the Warriors would win the first 2 games at home easily, winning the first 2 games by more than 20 points and scoring more than 120 points. The Cavs their defense was exposed, and their rim protection was couldn't stop anyone in the paint. Not only were the Warriors this good, but they had the capability of extending a 2-point lead to a 20-point lead in less than 5 minutes. No team was able to do this in NBA history. But because they're shooting back, they were able to extend their lead to 20 points with no one being able to stop them. Cavs would play a much better Game 3 at home, looking like they figured something out, and they would win the Game 3, making it a series. But the Warriors still were in the game, and Kevin Durant hit the most iconic shot ever.
Durant for 3. It's good. Kevin Durant from downtown, and Golden State takes the lead.
The Warriors would win that game. The Cavs would wouldn't score for 3 minutes. Warriors would go on an 11-0 run and will win 118-113 to take a 3-0 lead in the series. It was looking like the Cavs would get swept, but they would play an amazing game 4, knocking out the most threes in NBA Finals history, the most points in the first half, and they would force a game 5. But the Cavs still would lose in the game 5. The Warriors would only lose one game, would go 16-1.
One of the great playoff runs of all time is complete.
It was one of the best performances ever by a player in the finals. Of course, Kevin Durant won Finals MVP, but people around the NBA still were not impressed because they expected this team to win since they assembled.
People enjoyed seeing y'all lose in 2016, and a lot of those people were upset that we were so good, and they're still upset.
The moment KD joined the Warriors in the summer, everyone pretty much expected this team to win. It was just so easy the way they won. In 5 games, they had 2-time MVPs in KD Curry. They had Draymond, Defensive Player of the Year. Klay Thompson, arguably the second best shooting guard in NBA or best shooting guard. They had all of them were at their age of 27, at their peak. They had guys like Iggy, Sean Livingston, Zaza Pachulia, David West, who were all implemented perfectly in their system. This team was just too good. And their offense, if they gave up a wide open dunk to David West or Zaza Pachulia, there was someone wide open at the 3. Curry, KD, Klay. It was just really, really tough to defend them. And their defense was really mobile. Just getting out in fast break and blocking shots as Kevin Durant was. They just fit perfectly. And that is what people hurt them. Post scorer would hurt them. They didn't have a post scorer. Prime Shaq would hurt them. But at the state in the NBA, during that time, no one was able to stop them. Doesn't really matter who or what. They couldn't lose.
We know how tough it's going to be. We know how hard it is to be the best team in the league. I think we're all ready for that challenge.
But 2018, Warriors would struggle like something we didn't see. They still won 58 games, but their defense would drop from the top 10. Injuries had to do most of this, with Steph Curry missing some time, missing the first round of the playoffs. But the Warriors still were just too good. They beat the Spurs easily. And the second round, when Steph Curry returned, they beat the Pelicans with Anthony Davis, forcing them a matchup against the team we all wanted them to see. The Houston Rockets, the #1 seed in the West, playing James Harden, the MVP of the league at the time. This was a matchup everyone wanted to see. The Rockets had built their roster specifically for the Warriors. Had long defenders that would make it tough for the Warriors and would just score on ISO, shooting the most threes. They would just force bad shots from the Warriors. But the Warriors would still have an answer from their death lineup. Kerr would implement. No one in the league was able to compete with that death lineup. But the Rockets were the only team with PJ Tucker playing the 5, defending Kevin Durant, Draymond Green. Rockets had the best defense in the NBA at that time, and they just made it really tough for the Golden State Warriors. In the first 5 games, they were just looking like the better team, pushing the Warriors to elimination, looking like they were about to win. They went up 3-2, looking like they were about to win.
Has to force one.
I don't know what happened in Game 5. Chris Paul would go down. He would miss both Game 6 and Game 7. But the Rockets still had a chance. Game 6, they did lose 115-86. They blew a double-digit lead. Game 7, Warriors were once again down by double digits going into halftime. The Rockets had a commanding 11-point lead, looking like maybe they could pull out a win at home. But then in the third quarter, Rockets would go 0 for 27. The Warriors would start to drain their threes, just being physical with them, and would just knock down threes, and they would eventually lose 101-92. The Warriors would go to their 4th straight final to once again take on LeBron James and the Cavs. But this time, LeBron didn't have Kyrie Irving. It was a whole different Cavs team that was just horrible. That Maine didn't even expect them to make the finals because of how bad they were and how unmatched they were. But still, LeBron went to the finals, dropped 50.
Curry gets inside and throws it down.
Showcasing how good he is. But J.R. Smith, we all know what happened.
Look at Bron like pointing like this. Oh, is he pointing at? I look over. Oh, man. And then after that, it was just like, I know this shit ain't just happened. Nothing.
Series was pretty much over after Game 1. J.R. Smith blunder ruined everything. They would get swept. The Warriors would win another title. But we all know the only other game 3 was a close game. That was the only close one.
Kevin Durant way outside, delivers! Kevin Durant from downtown. It's a six.
It's incredible. It's good for you to be around guys like this. It helps you become a better basketball player and a better man. And this is a journey that's better than a destination. You know, I'm happy I'm a part of this group.
After the finals, once again, people weren't impressed with the win with the Warriors. They pretty much expect them to win the finals. It was an easy road, and they just were not impressed once again. And for the first time, the Warriors had team chemistry issues going into the 2018-2019 season. We all remember when Kevin Durant was asking for a ball against the Clippers here. Draymond pretty much ignored it. They missed the shot, and it led to them losing the game. And once they went back into the huddle, instead of apologizing, Draymond went berserk, cussing out KD, telling him to leave because he was on a contract year. And this pretty much led to Kevin Durant being unhappy for the whole season.
Communication is key. Like we didn't show that, and that's what rubbed me the wrong way.
Draymond got suspended by the team, but their chemistry issues were never solved.
They told me right then and there, like, we're going to suspend you for this game. I laughed in it, literally laughed.
Golden State was still the best team in the NBA despite these struggles they had chemistry-wise. But however, Kevin Durant would switch his offense, and he wouldn't buy into the Warriors' offense anymore, playing his ISO ball, which he did in OKC, just ISOing and scoring on his possession. But it still worked with Kevin Durant because he's Kevin Durant. It will work perfectly for him, and the Warriors will still be unbeatable.
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Warriors would have faced the Rockets once again, but this time they would easily win, despite KD getting injured in Game 5. KD would miss the whole conference finals against the Portland Trail Blazers, but the Warriors would still sweep them. They would go to their 5th straight NBA Finals to take on the Raptors, but this time the Raptors had more firepower, a prime Kawhi, Pascal Siakam, and a thin bench from the Warriors. Draymond Green not buying a shot, Iggy not playing up to his standard, and Sultan Livingston being too old. The Warriors were in desperate situation, missing Kevin Durant. With no one able to stop Kawhi, the Warriors would be down 3-1 in the first 5 games. But Kevin Durant would return to help them try and get back in
The Raptors were dominant and lead 3-1. But all of a sudden, Golden State has a new addition. Kevin Durant will play.
In the first quarter, the Warriors like they were back. Kevin Durant was playing really well offensively. The Warriors were able to throw bodies at Kawhi Leonard, with Kevin Durant being the only one able to guard him. And the Raptors just weren't able to contain both KD and Curry and Klay. And it was a struggle, looking like the Warriors were back. They were going to win Game 5, and they were going to win the series. But Kevin Durant would get injured, we all know, in the second quarter. His Achilles would pop, and that would be the end of that. The Warriors would still somehow win Game 5. They would survive. But losing Klay Thompson in Game 6, being down both players, the Warriors would lose the series. Raptors would win the NBA championship. This series showed everyone how much the Warriors needed Kevin Durant. Because without Kevin Durant, they're just a powerhouse team who could go to the finals but can't get it done. He gives the Warriors an unfair advantage. He is the complete player. He is the phenom, 7-feet player who could score, defend, pass. He could do everything. He really did. He became a complete player in his time with the Warriors. If you think about it, every single season, he added something to his game. In year 1, he got more comfortable playing off-ball. And he added more muscle. Because in OKC, remember, he would just do iso ball. He'd always have the ball in his hands. But in Golden State, in year 1, he got more comfortable playing off-ball, got more familiar with the offense, and he was just cutting in, and he was comfortable doing that. I mean, that is why he went to the Warriors, to play the right way. So he would play off-ball. And in year 2, he turned into an elite defender. He was one of the best defenders late in the league. He had 1.8 blocks. Would have, by the way, won Defensive Player of the Year if he didn't get injured and missed a few games because he was an elite defender. And in year 3, he became an amazing playmaker, averaged 5.9 assists. Averaged, by the way, more assists than Steph Curry, who was a team's point guard. So every year he added something to his game and became the complete player that we know him to be now, because he does this with the Suns now too, and he did it with the Nets a little bit. If you think about it, LeBron did this too when he went to Miami. Both players were criticized for the decision, but both players won 2 championships and solidified themselves as one of the best players in the NBA. And KD would have won 3 championships in a row. Would have 3-peated, would have won 3 finals MVPs if it wasn't for injury. tying Michael Jordan and Shaq as those only other players who did it, who won 3 championships in a row and finals MVPs.
He was everything we could have asked for. He represented us on the court. He represented us off the court.
He was the original unicorn. The nickname he gave Porzingis, it was him. And while many were criticizing him, they can't lie. This was the greatest team, arguably, along with that 96 Chicago Bulls team. That was a dynasty. The 96 Bulls, the 01 Lakers, the 86 Celtics. It was something special.